Good evening, everyone, and welcome. We are going to be talking about building muscles for a healthy body. This is based on a Dr. Jocker's article about the best foods, fitness, and nutritional strategies for building muscle. If you have any questions, please feel free to give Dr. Justine a quick text, and she'll be happy to answer your questions. I wanted to welcome Dr. Justine. She's our leader here at Justine Blainey Wellness Center, but she is a passionate warrior for your and your family's health.
So we're talking about building that muscle. We're going to be talking about areas of nutrition, sleep, different types of supplements, and how muscle building or loss of muscle can affect our overall health today. Okay, so the benefits of building muscle. It improves your mood. So if you feel depressed, if you feel anxiety, if you feel lack of energy, this is the thing you got to get moving. The research shows the more you move, the better it helps with things like depression and anxiety. Even just getting out in nature, walking on the ground, called grounding, is a big one to help your mood. It's also, of course, going to help your heart. It's going to help brain function. We'll come into that more. Reducing inflammation, building stronger bones, helping your immune system, helping burn fat to keep a better metabolic rate, a better BMI, helping your overall posture, and it's going to reduce disease. So these are some major, major reasons in order to build muscle. It is not just to look pretty, look good in your bikini. All right. It's way, way more information to build muscle. It's going to help that overall weight, which is going to reduce fast, reduce risk of chronic disease. It's going to help you feel more confident, improving your overall muscle strength. It's also going to reduce risk of falling. So again, it's helping from your all the way from your brain right to your toes, and helping that overall function of your entire body. They have shown that it reduces your risk of, in the meta-analysis for Frontiers of Physiology, they have shown that it reduces your risk of depression and mental health symptoms, even reducing your risk of chronic disease and mortality. So when you look at this chart, these myokines, and then you look at the fat cells, if we have a sedentary lifestyle, the adipokines will lead to metabolic disease. So that's on the left-hand side screen. The more fat cells we have, the more toxins we hold, the more inflammation we create. However, you have those myokines because you built muscle. That's going to help your mitochondria function that much better, help you reduce the inflammation, help you be a better fat burner versus just a glucose sugar burner, and help brain function. We know that it will develop brain-derived neurotrophic factor. So it's going to help the energy to your brain, the nerves in your brain. It's going to help your memory. It's going to help your learning, and it's going to help your mood. So it's very, very important to build more myokines, more muscle cells in order to help brain function. As we look at the muscle, it also helps use up that sugar, that glucose. If we're a sedentary, we're sitting way too much, then we're using that sugar, basically creating a body that has low energy. So we constantly need sugar for energy. And in more sedentary, the more likely we're at risk of obesity, diabetes, heart disease, cancer. So the more we build that muscle, the more less risk we have of those different disease. And of course, this would go along with a healthy diet, which will help our pancreas to create insulin and then be able to manage fat gain that much better and manage our energy that much better. So the more we exercise, the better our metabolic rate and the better we're able to not only use, but create and adapt to insulin function, preventing chronic health conditions. So when we want to build that strength, of course, it's going to help your blood pressure. It's going to help insulin sensitivity. It's going to improve mobility. So just getting around more easily. It's going to improve how you look. It's going to improve how you deal with lipids and how your arteries function. It's going to improve your immune system. And we're going to be able to adapt to stress that much better. Basically, as we get older, there's something called sarcopenia. Sarcopenia is when our muscles wasting, and you see that seniors uh, are weaker if they're not working on it, because that's not everybody. That's not every senior. Is the thing is, as you get older, as we get older, we have to work harder to develop and maintain those muscles to prevent aging. And along with that, the more we build muscle, the less cognitive decline we have, meaning it'll help with memory and things like dementia and Alzheimer's. So, the impact of exercise on our overall brain is it's going to promote neurogenesis, building new neurons. So our cells and our nerves can communicate better in our brain. We're going to have more plasticity, means we're going to be able to adapt to challenges better with brain. We're going to have better brain volume, more astrocytes. We're going to have regulation of trophic factors, which is going to help our learning, our memory, our performance, our speed and reaction times. So that prevents falling or being able to adapt to the environment. So meaning if you just trip on a curb, you're less likely to fall. And then, of course, it's going to help overall mood and well-being. Now, some of the best fitness strategies, we're going to go through a few, is high intensity interval training. Now, that doesn't mean for everybody it's sprints to your 10 out of 10 highest level, but you're trying to get to you are out of breath, or you're doing a hard exercise for a short duration. And for some people, that might be 20 seconds, others 30 seconds. As you get better, might be a minute. But at the beginning, it might be 20 seconds on, 20 seconds off, then 30 seconds on, 30 seconds off. And as you improve, you can improve your time to a minute. But this high intensity, you're going as hard as you can, whatever hard is for you, and then a rest, hard rest, hard rest. And that helps get rid of bad cells. So it builds your muscle, which is hypertrophy. And then it also gets rid of the bad cells, autophagy, meaning that you're getting rid of sloughing off the bad and creating the new. It's going to create human growth hormone. So that allows that muscle development, that fat burning, that circulation, that lymphatic drainage, getting you breathing harder, sweating. So you're getting rid of toxins. So this on-off intensity. Now, if you don't have weights, it means like walk really fast, walk really slow, or jog 30 seconds, then walk 30 seconds. You don't have to have a gym to be able to do in high intensity interval training called HIIT. Now, the second one is using large compound movements. That's like squats, deadlifts. And that's why we have that deadlift video coming up about how to do it safely, because you can really injure your back with deadlifts. But any type of push press, so bench press, squats, push-ups, incline bench press, clean and jerks, which also can cause a lot of injury, to be very careful. But shrugs, rows, dips, pull-ups are all full body exercises. When we're increasing more large muscle compounds, or you're using your bigger muscles, we're going to create more testosterone. We're going to be able to increase more of those high energy cells to be able to function better. So when you look at the video here, you'll see, yes, deadlifts can be done, or RDLs, which are a little bit safer. And you can ask our questions with us or with a personal trainer. We'd be happy to explain how to do deadlifts or RDLs. You can do those HIIT exercises, the on-off exercises. And remember, you do not have to have weights. You can do this with body weight. Now, we do have to be careful of overtraining. That is not the majority of people's challenge, but it does happen where we just get overexcited. So when we work on a certain muscle groups, they do need a day of rest. So for example, if you're doing heavy squats, you don't do that day after day after day, or bench press day after day after day. So I will have a heavy leg day once or twice a week. a heavy chest bench press back day once or twice a week. If we do overtrain, you're more prone to getting sick. You're more prone to reduced libido, fat gain, excessive soreness and injuries. It can affect mood, overall fatigue, and it will eventually decline. So eventually, your results go down, your energy goes down. Now, for getting the best results for building muscle, it is super important for the right nutrition. So, avoiding, first, that's on the right hand side screen, those refined grains. It doesn't mean no bread or no gluten. You might go to Ezekiel bread or rye bread, but it's definitely being cautious that you're using high quality. For example, if you're using rice, you're using wild rice, avoiding any packaged or fried, the fast foods, and most important, those seed oils, the poor oils like rapeseed oil and vegetable oil, and looking towards the healthier oils, healthier nuts, seeds. Avoiding corn oil, safflower, sun oil, soybean oil. That's in so many salad dressings. So make your own. And definitely, of course, avoiding things like margarine. So I know that's the tough news, but look at the other side on the right, left hand side. The list is bigger. All right, there's so much more that you can eat. Definitely, we're going to talk about proteins. So grass-fed proteins. That means that you're not eating junk because they ate junk. So or lots of antibiotics. So grass-fed, free range for eggs, chicken, beef, and looking for wild fish, not farmed fish, to avoid that heavy levels of mercury. Limes or lemons in your water, avocados with your eggs or with your salads or with your smoothies, green tea, lots of vegetables, turmeric. You can do capsules we sell at the office or adding as a turmeric shot before bed. Now, a lot of health food stores, they will sell you or even have like the Costco shot that you can taste of turmeric shots to help reduce inflammation. Looking at vegetable broths or bone broths, apple cider vinegar, ginger in your tea, ginger in your water. Making sure we have healthy oils, nuts and seeds of extra virgin olive oil, coconut oil, coconut water. And some of those herbs, you can grow those over the summer. We have rosemary in our backyard, but sage, basil, or oregano. One of my patients would grow the oregano and then wrap it and freeze it over the winter. And then she would just basically, it was like an ice cube. She would add it into her soups or to her sauces that she grew over the summer. Now, for number 2 is making sure you get enough protein. And that means 1.5 to 2 grams per kilogram of weight. Now, many of us don't weigh ourselves in kilograms in Canada. So one of the strategies is just trying to make sure you get 100 grams of protein a day at a minimum if you're over 100 to 150 pounds. So that minimum benchmark of 100 pounds. So it's basically trying to increase your protein levels. Now, as a vegetarian, I have to actively work at this. This isn't something, because I don't eat beef and I don't eat chicken, I have to be more cautious of getting enough protein. Be careful too, though, you can overdo protein. So it's not like you can have, steak 3 times a day, because if you overdo protein and you're not exercising enough, you will create acidosis, create too much acid. You can buy the pH strips that you put under your tongue to check your acidity, to make sure you're not doing too much protein, but that is usually not the problem for most. Most women, especially post-menopause, people who are wanting to build muscle and build health, want to increase the protein. And as we do that, that'll help our mTOR pathway. mTOR pathway stands for mammalian target of rapamycin pathway, and that helps with growth and prevent chronic diseases. So here's some examples here. If you're, for example, 160-pound individual, that's like 70 kilos, And at that 1 to 1.5 gram per kilo, if you're trying to lose weight, then you're trying to get 70 to 110 grams of protein a day. That's eggs regularly, protein shakes, healthy meats. You want to be aware of how maybe cottage cheese, Greek yogurt, because you want to make sure you're getting the protein without adding excessive amounts of sugar. Now, if you're trying to build muscle or you're an extreme athlete, now you're increasing that protein significantly into that over 110, over 130 grams of protein a day. So the more you exercise, the more protein you need. And so do recommend that you eat the protein first. That's the first thing you think of a meal, because it also will make you feel full and full longer. So you're not reaching for snacks. And this goes against that whole cereal or bagel for breakfast, because that's low protein, makes you really hungry really quickly. Much better to have a protein shake if you're in a rush, because you can do that very quickly and take it on the go. Or scrambled eggs, or at Costco you can buy, if you're really rushing, those little egg bites. And they're, if you buy them at Costco, a lot cheaper than if you go to, I don't know, Starbucks or something. Definitely not something you want to do on a regular basis, because it's probably not grass-fed, free-range eggs. However, in a crunch for time and for cost, that can help you get those proteins up. Adding cottage cheese, for example, is something I do, and pumpkin seeds to soups. That will increase your overall protein. You can add protein powder, for example, to your oatmeal, your cereal. That'll make it taste sweeter, but at least you're adding that protein. Now, time restrictive eating is also huge benefit for increasing muscle mass, helping with overall body weight. So you can start, we have many talks on this, so I'll go through more quickly, but you have the simple fast right up to the warrior fast. You don't want to do it till it stresses you out, because that will increase your cortisol response. But even just the 12-hour or 14-hour fast will help your overall body function. If this is difficult, just try it 2-3 days a week, alternate days. The next day you're going to get whatever you want. You're still trying to eat healthy foods in this slower periods of time, but you're increasing the fast while you're sleeping. So for example, you're eating 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. Trying to get your dinner earlier is a great idea. Now, carb cycling is important. So we have many talks on the ketogenic diet, paleo diet, and you're definitely looking towards trying to use ketones for energies. That's where the keto diet comes from working with people who have seizures. And so we know that it helps brain function, but it's not something you do long-term over and over and over again without a rest. So maybe you take holidays off or a weekend, a month off, but we do want to be aware to cycle it in order to increase growth function, in order to stimulate fat burning, to help balance our hormones, help with mental health. The key is that when you famine, you don't go for junk food, all right? You're just going for things like more fruit, healthier snacks, but you're increasing that sugar load a little bit, but better to try and do it with healthier sugars, like those more high glycemic vegetables like corn, sweet potato, and fruits, like say you want to be able to have mangoes because it's summer, or pineapples, which have bromelain for anti-inflammatory, but you're adding some of those healthier fruits as you're doing the famine, and then you go, the feast, and then you go back into the famine cycling. And that doesn't mean starving yourself. That just means that you're going to a very low sugar, low carb area. Now, we do want to make sure we get enough quality calories. And so this whole idea of just really bottoming out and lowering your calories to 1,000 or 1,200 calories can usually mean that you're going to rebound. And so we want to be careful, get the quality calories, and start with your proteins first, aiming for 30 to 50 grams of protein each meal for adults. more for athletes, more for teenagers. So get that energy to help burn the fat, to get your sugar levels properly, um, and to feel full. That's satiety. You want to feel full and help our muscles recover with all of these exercises. So looking towards that protein, healthy proteins, grass-fed, free range, and wild as your first priority. Okay, now we do have some lifestyle strategies to make these muscles work. And number one, get out in the sun. Dr. Jocker says minimum 15 to 30 minutes. I would say even closer to 45 minutes. Getting the majority of your skin like a bathing suit, getting that sun. That's going to help your overall energy, your sleep, your immune system. It's going to help you create that vitamin D, vitamin K. If you are like me, I do not get enough sun. I work inside. I do all my gardening typically in the morning. So I will need a vitamin D supplement, and that's why we have a pure supplement options for myself, for kids at the office. But definitely, this is the time to be grounding. This is the time to get outside. Number two is getting that sleep. So thinking about the blackout blinds, the dark blue light blocking glasses, so we're not in front of screens and EMFs as much, to help our eyes and to help improve our sleep. Avoiding computers, phones right before bed, TV right before bed. Looking towards healthier habits to relax and get a good, better sleep, like meditation, prayer, stretching, crossword puzzles, warm bath or warm Epsom salt bath before sleep. Dark rooms like that mask. We have the blackout blinds to make sure we're getting that better sleep. And also looking towards making sure we're not exercising right before bed. So I know for me, when I play hockey late at night, it's hard to get to sleep. So, and creating that routine right before bed. So one of my routines is always all the vitamins are organized, the kettle is full for my tea. Before I go to bed, my clothes are picked out, my workout clothes are picked out. So there's less thinking time in the morning. The prep has been done the night before. All right, we do need better quality protein powders if we're using that to increase the protein. A lot of protein powders are made of synthetic types where the animal is eating junk, so you're eating junk. So whether you get it, these type of brands come from New Zealand. We do have Nature Pro at the office, but you want to make sure that the animal is, or that it's grass fed. And they're not fed lots of pesticides or GMO products. And we also have the vegetarian option, pea protein or hemp protein or options. So very much make sure you're reading those labels to help with weight management and muscle growth. When you were looking at different amino acids, this is from Dr. Jockers. Please talk to a naturopath, a holistic nutritionist. This is not for everybody, but it can help with muscle recovery, especially if you're working out really hard. So this is for those who are really pushing their limits more to help with a keto adaptation, but be careful and make sure you have a good quality product. Next one, if you look at creatine, again, be very, very careful. It can improve your energy, increase your water into the muscle cells, so it can make you look like you have bigger muscles. However, if you're playing a lot of fast sports, you can have big muscles, water in them, but you might be more prone to injury because if you're weightlifting, it's sort of a slow and very controlled movement compared to, say, playing lacrosse or hockey or football. So creatine is like the new rage for young people when their weightlifting gets started, but it does have some risks of associated as well. So be careful. It has great benefits for building muscle, cognition, memory, strength, and power, but can also be overdone, and it's often mixed with a lot of other chemicals to make it unhealthy. So do your research and talk to your naturopath. Organ meat is super healthy. I'm a vegetarian, so it's not for me, but I know when I went to Switzerland, and people in Switzerland are much healthier than people in North America. This is something that they would do soups, and they would be excited, and the head of the family or the guest of the family would get the organ meat. Very, very healthy for you. But if you're not regularly eating grass-fed proteins, or you want to increase your muscles more, you can look at some organ complexes. I do recommend, again, do your research, make sure the animal is grass-fed, free range, and then talk to a naturopath to make sure that that is the right thing for you. All right. And what does all this have to do with your nervous system? If we're building muscle, using the right foods, using the right idea, getting to the gym or doing those compound exercises, we still need to make sure our alignment is good. If we're crooked, our shoulders low, our hip is low, or our head is forward, we don't have the best posture, we can actually be doing all this muscle work and creating injury. All right. So it's very important to make sure you have your posture check, shoulders levels, hip level. That's one of the reasons at the gym they have mirrors so you can check your posture, check your alignment. So as a chiropractor, we're experts at looking, identifying, finding, removing those areas of subluxation, less than light. That's what that means. Removing those subluxations, those misalignments of the spine, those crooked areas. So then as you're doing those workouts, building that muscle, you're improving your posture, therefore improving the nerves that go to every single part of your body. As you look at that chart, you'll see those nerves in your neck control like your blood pressure, and your chest affect your heart, your lungs, down lower your digestion. The nerves in your neck will affect the strength in your arms. The nerves in your low back will affect the strength in your legs. They will also help how you digest all these great quality foods. So super important. And number one, to make sure we're finding, removing those areas of subluxation as best we can. So stay tuned with us. As usual, we're excited and happy to help. We have lots of information on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. Check out our website, and please share this with others. Look forward to being with you soon.